Thinking of exiting your business or taking on a private equity partner to help you grow faster? BizNexus has you covered. Tap into our network of thousands of best-fit investors, acquirers, and proven M&A advisors, and we'll help you begin the relationship confidentially on your terms, your timeline. Learn more at biznexus.com.
Disclaimer from the always present legal team. Podcast conversations don't necessarily reflect the views of BizNexus Incorporated. Everything you hear is informational news and updates from around the industry. We're not recommending any investments. We're not offering any investment advice. Be sure to do your own homework.
Okay, let's unpack this mergers and acquisitions, especially in the financial services world. It's such a pressure cooker, and one of the biggest things really is speed. How fast can you actually make two companies one?
Yeah, it's absolutely critical.
But it's tricky, right? Because if you take too long, well, the deal value can just sort of fizzle out, but rush it, and you might damage the customer experience, maybe lose key employees, the very things you bought the company for.
Precisely. It's a real balancing act. And the information we're looking at today, this comes from Matt Mcclelland. He's Managing Director for M&A at Accenture Strategy.
Okay.
It's from his Banking M&A Perspectives, March 2025. And our goal really is to get a clear picture of why this pace, this integration speed, matters so much in financial M&A, particularly thinking about, say, the lower middle market, too.
Right, where things can move fast.
Exactly.
Right.
So for you, the learner, trying to get up to speed on complex stuff quickly, we really want to pull out some clear, actionable insights here.
Okay, good. And what jumps out right away from Matt Mcclelland's insights is just how much things have sped up.
Yeah.
Looking at North American banking deals, the bigger ones, over $2 billion. But we're seeing this in the lower middle market, too, where maybe being nimble is even more key. The integration timelines, they're shrinking a lot.
It's quite dramatic.
We're talking that time from deal close to when the customer actually sees the unified company the client cut over.
It is. And if you look at the numbers Matt Mcclelland presents, specifically in that chart showing duration from close to cutover for those bigger deals, the trend is just, well, it's undeniable.
Give us some examples.
Okay, so back in 2017, the average was, get this, 694 days.
Wow, almost 2 years.
Right. Then you fast forward to 2023, and it's down to just 116 days.
Huge difference.
Massive. Now, there were some ups and downs in between, like 432 days in 2018, then it jumped a bit in 2019, but then back down. 198 in 21, 295 in 22. But the overall trajectory, clearly faster.
And you're saying this pressure is maybe even higher in that lower middle market space?
Often, yes. Agility is key there.
So what's driving this? What's behind this need for speed? It's not just about getting it done faster, is it? There must be a strategy.
No, it's definitely strategic. Matt Mcclelland's take is that this faster pace comes from doing way more planning before the deal actually closes.
Oh, okay. Front-loading it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The integration teams are doing the really heavy lifting much earlier. They're figuring out the potential problems, mapping everything out, so when they get the green light from regulators and the legal side is done, they can just execute much, much faster.
That makes sense. So why is this speed so vital in financial services specifically? What happens if you are slow, especially in that competitive lower middle market?
Well, connecting back to the deal's value, Matt Mcclelland's insights really stress that a slow integration can just kill value.
How so?
It eats away at profits,
Yep.
right? It directly undermines why you did the deal. But the flip side is going too fast without careful thought. That could be just as bad.
Right, the customer and employee impact we talked about.
Exactly. Poor experience for them. It hampers your long-term growth, maybe creates instability. Some things smaller firms like in the lower middle market really can't afford.
So it's a tightrope walk. I like how Matt Mcclelland's perspective frames it as a calculated decision. It's not reckless speed.
Precisely. Calculated is the key word. His information points out that, just doing the standard due diligence, it's not really enough anymore.
Okay.
You need a kind of fundamental shift in how you plan the deal itself, focusing much more on making key decisions way before the merger actually happens.
So the question isn't if you can go faster anymore.
Right. According to this view, it's how you do it effectively, even with the resource constraints you might see in the lower middle market.
And that how seems to come down to some core principles. Matt Mcclelland talks about setting integration guiding principles early on. What does that mean in practice?
Yeah, this is foundational, especially when you think about merging different company cultures, maybe smaller firms with unique ways of doing things. These principles basically lay out how much the acquiring company, the parent co, will bring its own ways of working, its best practices, into the acquired company.
Right.
And crucially, these principles also have to include a clear commitment. We're going to minimize disruption for customers and employees. Getting agreement on that upfront sets the stage for everything else.
And there's a case study mentioned in Matt Mcclelland's information that really highlights this, right? A North American bank doing a close-in convert in just one weekend, early 2024.
Yeah, that one's pretty striking. Sounds incredibly fast, doesn't it?
It does, especially for a bank. How did they pull that off?
Well, the key insight there was a big design decision they made early. The parent co was much larger, had already invested heavily in its tech, its talent.
So they just decided to use the parent co systems as the standard.
Pretty much, yeah. That was the assumption going in. It massively simplified the planning. The focus then became, okay, how do we make sure the acquired company's customers have a good experience? What enhancements do they need?
That makes sense for speed, avoids getting stuck trying to blend everything. Seems like a smart move, especially if resources are tighter, like in the lower middle market.
It can be, yes.
Yeah.
Streamlining quickly can really pay off there.
But what about the people, customers, employees? A single weekend conversion sounds like it could be chaotic.
That's where change management becomes absolutely critical. Matt Mcclelland's perspective really emphasizes this. They needed super detailed training, really clear communication, lots of support for everyone involved.
So managing the human side very proactively.
Very proactively. They pulled integration activities forward strategically, always thinking about the experience, protecting the deal value, and this is important, keeping the acquired company's strong performance culture intact. That culture can be a huge asset, especially in those lower middle market deals.
And the result, it worked.
Apparently, yes. Successfully moved over 780,000 customers, 130 branches, 4,200 employees, all in one weekend.
That's impressive. Really shows what's possible with that kind of focused strategy.
It does. But, success like that doesn't just happen. Matt Mcclelland also points out some must-haves for institutions, including those in the lower middle market, if they want to achieve this kind of speed. First up is governance and design principles.
Right. We touched on principles. Governance meaning clear decision-making.
Exactly. A well-defined structure so decisions can be made quickly and effectively. Getting that sorted early helps with the design principles, defines who's accountable, and just reduces uncertainty when things are moving fast.
Okay, what else is crucial according to Matt Mcclelland's insights?
Technology readiness. This is huge.
AI and cloud.
You got it. AI, cloud solutions. They're game changers for speeding up due diligence and especially data migration, which is often a massive headache.
Yeah.
He mentions Accenture research showing that deals with a strong tech focus tend to beat average integration speeds and get better outcomes. So, investing in scalable IT, automation, it's vital. Helps avoid those data migration nightmares and boosts efficiency. Think about AI tools analyzing huge data sets in diligence way faster than humans could.
So technology isn't just a tool, it's an enabler of the whole speedy process.
Right.
What about the people, the talent? Mergers are tough on employees.
Absolutely essential. Talent and resource planning. You need the right people ready to go from day one.
Which might mean moving your own top people onto the integration.
Could be that, or bringing in external experts who've done this before, maybe specifically in the lower middle market. Having that experience navigating the complexities is just invaluable.
Okay, governance, tech, talent. One more thing was mentioned, a readiness assessment. What's that?
Think of it as a continuous checkup. It's a structured way, a methodology really, for the institution to keep evaluating, are we ready for this merger?
So it's not just a one-time check.
No, ongoing. It helps spot potential problems early, make sure the integration plan is still optimized for speed. It's about catching risks before they become major delays, which, again, saves time and money, especially for those lower middle market firms.
Okay, let's try and sum up this deep dive then, based on this info from Matt Mcclelland. Speed in financial M&A, including that lower middle market space, it's not just nice to have, it's becoming essential.
It's strategic imperative, yeah.
And getting there needs a really deliberate plan. Clear principles up front, decisive choices about how you integrate, smart use of tech and people, and constantly checking if you're actually ready.
It's about being fast, but like you said earlier, calculated speed. smart speed.
Right. Fast and smart.
Exactly. And hopefully for you, the learner, this has clarified some of the key drivers behind this acceleration in M&A integration in financial services, and maybe some of the specific dynamics in the lower middle market.
So maybe a final question for you to think about. With everything speeding up and the complexities involved, especially maybe when resources aren't infinite, like in the lower middle market, what are the absolute non-negotiables? What must banks prioritize to get both the speed and the success they need in their next M&A deal? How do you balance that velocity with protecting what really matters, the customers and the employees? Something to chew on.
Acquiring a business? BizNexus simplifies it. Access thousands of updated opportunities in our DIY marketplace or supercharge team sourcing with OmniSource, your all-in-one platform for on-market, off-market, and coming-soon deals. Scale smarter today. Learn more or book a demo at www.biznexus.com.